What's up guys, Dylan with That Delta Bravo, and this is the rifle I regret purchasing. First off, I want to give a big thank you to all of you recent subscribers who saw my gun cleaner? After seeing my, I think 4-year-old now, brake cleaner video on firearms. I have a special one coming out for you guys where I tested some of your other suggestions on different firearm parts and other accessories just to see what they would do. But until then, since that is going to take a little bit more time to do, this is a Norinco SKS. It is really nothing special, and you will find out what I mean by that in the video. So I have a Russian SKS, and I thought that was the coolest thing, even though it's bubbed. I'll have a video on that in the future about why I did it. I do believe I had a good reason, but this is just your basic wood stock Norinco Chinese SKS. Why do I regret purchasing this? Well, after getting the Russian one, I wanted another of the Comblock firearms, and I thought the coolest thing to get would be a Chinese one, which arguably might be one of the best SKSs out there, next to the Russians, of course. Yugos are up there as well, but whatever. Arguments aside about which is better, I wanted a Chinese one. Something about owning a firearm for a country that's currently banned on imports just seemed pretty darn cool. So back in 2019, I was with my buddy Chad at one of the Central Florida gun shows looking around for SKSs. And this was at the tail end of when you used to be able to get SKSs. The Central Florida gun shows, and they're pretty much all new firearms. You hardly find anything used there anymore, let alone really old like this, and it's pretty disappointing, but that's neither here nor there. So when I was looking around for SKSs, I saw a few, and this is one of them. I might take a look at that SKS because I do really like that. Now when I was looking for a Chinese SKS, basically I wanted a Vietnam bring back. Those these days, or even back in 2019, were pretty much impossible to find as surplus. Whatever ones have come into the country were already sold years before that, and at a pretty low price too. They were just about drying up. So I knew my chances of finding one of those would be pretty slim. So what I wanted was more of an original Chinese SKS from back in the day, preferably something around the 50s, maybe a little bit later. Now, I am not an expert on SKSs by any means, and spoiler alert, I'm still not an expert on SKSs by any means. But I did some quick research on some of the blog articles out there and websites dedicated to these things, and figured out some of the things to look out for when looking for a Chinese SKS to find one of the oldest ones possible. Now, the Russian ones, right on the top cover, it's gonna give you the date on there. The Chinese ones, not so much. But with that information in hand, whatever information I could find, I set out with Chad to find me an SKS. Well, I recruited him to help look for that as well. Now, the cool thing about this specific firearm and the story that goes along with it is I actually have the purchase process, well, not the process, but the day I found the weapon on video, because I did record myself and Chad going to that gun show in 2019. You can go check out that video, link in the description of this one. I'd point, but I have a rifle, I guess I could just point now. Anyway, so looking around, I found this and a couple others, but one of the ones that stuck out to me was this looked a little bit rusted, it was a little bit pitted, so I thought, age, nice. And then I saw somebody put a 1922 Liberty dollar in here, and I was like, well, I'm not really a big fan of that, but whatever. And it was all matching numbers, so I was like, oh, that's pretty cool too. The seller kept trying to sell me on this, thinking like, oh, that's really cool and unique, and well, it's unique. I don't know about cool, but regardless, I was starting to get more and more attached to this, thinking this was exactly what I was looking for. Or so I thought. If you watched that video from back in the day when I posted it, back in 2019, you'll know that toward the end, I was getting a bit delirious. Hope you enjoyed it. Subscribe for more so you don't miss any of the upcoming videos. Check us out on Facebook. Well, not us, but check me out on...
You can check me out on Facebook.
You can as well. I realized I had 103-degree fever. I'm gonna put what that is in non-freedom units right here for those in non-freedom unit countries to be able to see what that temperature was, and I was not doing too well. Even by the end of that video, I started to babble, but I did my best to make sure I was finding what I was looking for, and this is what I came up with. And well, let me tell you, when I got home, It was not at all what I was looking for. It turns out that this is probably one of the last runs that Norinco did. This is probably around in the 70s or so. The stock that was on it, while it looks cool, I don't even know if it's original or not. I don't care. The more and more I dug into it, the more I realized I just bought a rusted out piece of junk. It could still fire for all I know. I've never taken it to the range. I have my Russian one for that. Eventually, I do plan on getting this out to the range, but I've had this for 6 years now. So if I haven't gotten it out to the range yet, I'm probably not going to, but I mean, it's really nothing special. Just 7.62 by 39, 10 round SKS, Chinese, rusted out pitted. Now I got most of the rust out, but of course you're not gonna get the pitting out. That's just impossible, but it hasn't rusted anymore. The charging handle has gotten a little bit darker from the rust, but now, honestly, the coolest thing that it does have going for it is the 1922. I don't even know what it is because it looks like somebody painted it. So before you ask, no, it is not for, I probably can't even say the S word relating to firearms on YouTube, but I'm not planning on getting rid of this anytime soon. I don't get rid of any firearms I have. One, I enjoy collecting, even the ones I don't like. Two, I never want to risk these firearms falling in the hands of the wrong people, so if they stay with me, I know they won't. But, I don't know. I'm sure it's still a good rifle. I'm sure it still goes bang, but I regret purchasing this, and well, it probably ruined SKSs for me. Well, it didn't ruin SKSs for me, but I don't plan on getting another one anytime soon unless it is a Vietnam bringback. So if you know anyone who has a Vietnam bringback, preferably in the Orlando area, let me know in the comments below, or reach out to me on X at @ThatDeltaBravo or Instagram at @ThatDeltaBravo, and hey, let's chat. But for now, this thing is gonna go back in the safe and probably stay there until in 6 more years, maybe take it out to the range. But do you have a firearm that you have purchased and regret, whether that be an impulse buy or perhaps your budget was limited at the time and you only had to get a certain something? Let me know what that is in the comments below, and let me know what happened to it. Do you still have it? Do you still regret it? Is it sitting in your safe? Did you get rid of it? Give it to a friend or family member that you don't like? Whatever, let me know in the comments below. But guys, that is it. I am going to wrap up this video. What do you think of this? I have a few more firearms that I could share stories on, especially that Russian SKS, and let you know why it's bubbed, because I know people hate that, but I think I had a good reason. Regardless, I want to thank you all for watching. Guys, again, thank you all for those who recently subscribed from watching that old video. Again, a lot of you offered different suggestions for that brake cleaner video, and like I said, I have a video in progress on some of those different suggestions and on different materials, including, no, not this one specifically, but a piece of firearm that a lot of you have talked about. But that is all for this video. Let me know in the comments below what you'd like to see more on this channel, and I will do my best to make that happen with the limited time that I have. Thank you all for watching, and I will see you on the next video.